But we often talk about good team performances. Was that an excellent squad performance, Keith?
I think that's what we're going to have to expect. There's a unity. I think everybody can see that we're playing against an excellent side. The week that we've had, emotionally, mentally, physically, it's been a massive load. I'm really tired, exhausted by watching that. So I can only contemplate and admire, the effort from the players, because they must be really tired.
There was a real grit and determination about that, as you say, at the end of a very, very hard week, wasn't it?
Again, we can sit here, and I think I mentioned it on Friday, we can just give up. When it hurts. These players, the staff, we're putting ourselves, we're facing defeat every day as we prepare to be successful, but that's what's special. We don't fear losing a football match. But you've got to prepare yourself for that eventuality. It was brought up at half time, there was a little bit of disappointment. We shouldn't fear the outcome. We are striving, we are determined to be successful. You can't snatch, you'll never achieve anything. And you can't think about what might be. You've got to seize the moment. But you can't fear losing a game of football or losing. That's how winners are built. And it takes time, it takes patience. Somebody once said to me, how do you catch a butterfly? Well, you don't. If it's meant to be, it'll land on your shoulder. Simple as that, And we're in a position where, there's got to be a freedom to the way that we've got to relax in performance. And I thought we were excellent today. I really do. And again, I said it during the week. A positive point during the week. For somebody to say that drawing at Grimsby is a disaster, I think it underlines to me a bit of lack of respect for the players. It's not about Keith Ellis, it's about the players. I feel for the players when I hear that type of comment. I don't like it. And it's not about me, it's about that group of players. I'm trying to protect them because I know what they're trying to achieve. The winners, and they've got a massive determination. There's no disaster.
And then a difficult game like that, you've got yourself ahead, and then within a couple of minutes you're back at 1-1 again. That's another challenge to the players, which is Rovers too.
Playing against an excellent side, scored the most goals in League Two. For me, regardless of whoever goes up, that's a League One side playing in League Two. In Exeter, they haven't made it for the last 2 or 3 seasons. The way that they do things, the way that they recruit through their own academy. I think they got 5 or 6 representations today in that starting 11, including the subs. I think it's superb, and trust me, that team would be able to compete in League One. The difficulty for that team is they have to get promoted, and that's difficult. It's really difficult to get promoted. It's not simple, or everyone would be doing it.
And you win a game, your penalty taker's not in the side at the moment, and you've got 2 lads there who stepped forward and scored 2 important penalties for you.
Yeah, it was brilliant, to be fair, absolutely superb. Really pleased for Nuge, and obviously pleased for a further substitute, Danny White, coming on and scoring.
You made a few changes today. Paul Lewis was on the bench. Is that just trying to look at trying to manage their fitness, etc.?
I think there's a few more, and it's going to have to come, and it's no risk for me. No risk. I love doing this job. I have no fear for myself, that's for sure. This is a wonderful football club, a wonderful group of players, and we're challenging all the time, but the challenge is about the squad. Hugo Lloris said something during the week about Tottenham, about if you're only included in the team, if you're only included as a player when you start, then there's something wrong with the team. And we've got a unity, and it's including the substitutes and the players like Sid Nelson, who aren't even in the squad today, and like James Vaughan, who can't be part of the squad. There's a unity, and that is what's right about this team.
Leo Connor started today. Do you think he's benefited from those EFL opportunities to play in midfield as well, and only he come in and do a job for you today like that?
We did more than a job. Their star player comes off the pitch. He was superb, and again, I admire the person he is. He can relate to the way that I think. He can interpret what I want and put it into action. He's 21, but he's got experience because he can turn knowledge into action. Some players just get old, and they don't know what experience is. experience, knowledge put into action, and he's got it.
You mentioned sort of what a hard week it's been, physically, mentally for the players, etc. But a win like that today, does that give you an even bigger smile, if you like, when you're going home at night? Because
I'm really pleased for the players. I'm really pleased for the players. All about players. That's what it is at this time of the season. We can't put them under any pressure. But the travelling, we've been in every day, and everybody will say, well, you should be. They're quite right, but to refresh yourself. We're talking about men's mental health here. We're talking about the game, mental health. It's a cliche. Everyone talks about well-being, but do we really care about well-being? Do we? Or we just expect the players to go out and flog themselves? So I'm really pleased for that group of players, the successes that got us to Wembley. Runners up at Wembley. I don't consider us to have lost. We runners up in a competition that had 64 teams in it, and the players to go through what we've gone, the cycle with respect to travelling, and we'll go again Monday, travelling all the way down to Colchester, and we're looking forward to the challenges. We've brought the 60-point mark, and we've got to keep going.
I've got to ask about George Ray, because that was really nasty at the time, didn't he, when he went over the hoardings. And how is George?
I think he's okay. I think he's shocked. I think he had a bit of a headache, but we've got really good medical staff, club doctor in there taking care of him.
And you mentioned now past that 60-point mark. Again, is that sort of something you look at, and then is that 3 players up again? You've got past the 60-point mark, and we can push on even further.
Well, the next mark's 70, isn't it? I count in tens, I think. You know what I mean? So that's we've got. I think we've got 11 games, haven't we?
Yeah.
11 games remaining. There's still a lot to play for. There's a lot of teams winning. We've won 18 games this season so far, and we're in good form. But I'm really pleased with the attitude and the application of the team, and they'll always get my support if they give me everything, and I'll always try and protect them, and they've been magnificent during the course of this week. An outstanding performance at Wembley, a positive point Tuesday, and a great outstanding 3 points today scoreboard, and for me that sums football up in the way that we battled through today and played some good football as well.
Well done.
Thank you.
Do you think it's something to turn the game today somewhat, especially in particular Paul Lewis in the way he was able to win high balls and sort of move the ball further up the pitch or where it was being played?
I think you could say that Dave Nugent wore them out as well, and Kieran Morris. Sometimes it's a wrestle, isn't it? And you have to be able to look at your bench and think, how can we change it? I think there were positive substitutions, but Paul Lewis's energy, it was topped up again, and we're going to have to be mindful of that. We've got to take the advice of the experts when we can, freshen it up and not weaken our opportunities. I don't think we have done today, but the substitutions were superb, and it's about starters and finishes in every game. Sometimes you get it wrong.
One of the few benefits of an empty stadium is you can hear everything that's happening at pitch level. A few frustrations with the referee today?
A lot. But it's not up to me now to analyse the referee's performance. It's up to him, the Referees Association, and I'm sure he'll do that to improve his decision making.
Exeter are a really tough opponent today, and a lot of players sort of dead on the feet at the end there. You've never look at further than the next game, as you've said, Keith, but they're coming thick and fast, and you possibly may have to bring some changes.
The change is as good as the rest. Listen, I'm being persuaded by the players, and I know that they'll give me everything. We have a strong look at the data, and we look at the opposition. We try and build our team around the opposition as well. So we'll bear all those, elements into consideration in selecting a side, for Tuesday and thereafter. But we want to keep as strong as we possibly can, so that we continue to put ourselves in a position where we're picking up points.
And how will you relax yourself tonight? A glass of wine, maybe look through Twitter?
Look through Twitter. What do you think? I nearly lost my cool then.